What's going on, beautiful people, and welcome back to Peace, Love, Happiness 101. And today we have another phenomenal video for you guys. Well, today is the beginning of our new segment, Relationship Questions and Answer. The way it works is each time we receive questions and answers about relationship, we'll make a video to talk about them and give the best answers possible. Just so we're clear, nobody's name will be said. You don't have to worry about your privacy. We are not gonna say your name or your social media or anything like that. We're gonna try and give the best answer possible and keep everything anonymous. On that note, let's go ahead and start this video. Kai, welcome back to the channel. How's it going today?
It's going great. Today we have an email from a viewer with a situation that they want us to take a look at.
All right, good. No problem.
Okay.
What you got?
Hey, so I've been dating my girlfriend for 4 years now. We met in college, almost 6,000 miles away from our hometown, where I found out that we live 10 minutes away from each other. As dating is a big no-no where I come from, my parents have no idea. A week ago, I brought her up to my parents and mentioned that I'm interested in marrying her. They asked me the usual questions. Everything seemed to be going fine, but then they said no. When I asked why, they said that she's not within our socioeconomic level. A little arguing. No, she's not within our socioeconomic level. Okay. A little arguing later, they started saying things such as she's poor, her family doesn't suit ours, and a bunch of other BS relating to that.
What?
Yesterday, as I was preparing to go to work, Mom mentions that she found a girl that suits me. Turns out that this girl is her friend's daughter, who I have talked to once before and immediately hated her guts. She's the most entitled, narcissistic bee that I've ever seen. Mom, on the other hand, loves her and more importantly thinks that our families are very suitable. I scoffed at the idea and left for work.
Money.
When I came back, Mom and Dad were waiting for me. They said, marriage is more than just the both of you. It's also about the two families. Our family cannot be associated with hers as it is not within our economic level. My parents are now taking this personally. They got the entire family involved, all of which support my parents. It goes on to say, I don't know what to do. Marriage here is different than what you might be used to. Simple blessings are not enough. Usually the groom's parents meet the brides at her house to ask for her hand in marriage. This, along with other reasons, make it impossible for me to marry her without my parents' approval.
Blessings. This is crazy.
I did not tell my girlfriend any of this as it will absolutely destroy her.
This is is this okay? I need a minute because is this happening here in America or what's going on? I know there are countries that, arranged marriage. First of all, at some point he's gonna have to tell the girlfriend, especially if they've already talked about getting married. You know what I mean? How old you said he was?
He is 28. The girlfriend is 25. And
okay, the age, appropriately speaking, he can get married around that age. He's not too young. He's not old. So it's not a bad age to get married. But at that point, I feel like why don't just stop that marriage completely? Because the way he's basically saying it, I don't think he really wants to marry the mom's best friend's daughter. You know what I mean? So that alone is gonna be even more problematic for him to even dive into that. So he loves the girlfriend right now, and you said he's 28 and they're making decisions for him. I'm lost. I'm completely lost. I don't know.
Some cultures are like that. You are a child and you still have to follow family traditions and the rules of the family until you are, in fact, married. So his age doesn't really surprise me because I know that there are definitely cultures where they, you are at home, whether you're 21 or you're 31. If you're not married, you are still home and you are still under the roof and decision making of your parents. I think that he's in a tough spot. But I do think that it's 2020. So he has some hard decisions to make, because if he does go off and elope or marry the girl that, he wants to marry, he'll probably have to, he'll probably be cut off from his family.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I think if he happens to go with his heart and decide to, I don't know, run away or all that's actually a bad idea, especially if he's not ready for it. Because as much as we're talking about marriage, a lot of people, like we've mentioned, want to get married. They don't really know what marriage is all about.
Yeah.
So I would never tell him to just get up and get married with the girl he loves. I would say he needs to hold on to that idea. Getting married gets better the older you are. Let me just put that out there. You're going to need more experience to understand that there's a lifetime for you to do certain things, and you have to be completely sure about that decision. Despite the fact that he really loves the girl, but if losing his parents' connection or his the communication with his parents is basically on the table, you're probably going to have to really think about what a decision this is going to be for him to make. You know what I mean? And the second thing is, if you don't love somebody, I'm just going to throw that out there as well. Do not even think about marrying them. Because the one thing that I've learned about marriage myself, relationship period, if you really think you love somebody, marriage gonna test you and make you understand, did you really love her or you thought you loved her? That's basically one of the things. And I don't have any experiences when it comes to prearranged marriage. I wasn't raised on that mindset, so it's quite impossible for me to tell you exactly what are the consequences if you don't marry this girl. But I feel like despite the fact that he's 57, his parents gonna feel like they always have a say-so about whom he's gonna get married to, because it's more of a financial situation than just marrying somebody that you love. So the interest is more on their level instead of him. At that point, what do you really think you should do?
Well, I think that this just goes back to the origin of marriage. So I think that in all the ceremony, people have gotten lost and confused about what marriages were originally about. And marriages have historically always been about the union of two families, right? So we have trouble with, king over in ABC land, then, we'll offer our daughter to him. And, then now the two lands will become one and become stronger. And the bloodline will stay royal. So that has always been the intention of marriage. Now,
that was the intention back in the days, but we're talking about today's reality.
Yes, but unfortunately, that because marriage itself was founded on that principle. In many other cultures, where the priorities that we have adopted into the West are not the same as what they prioritize, right? So they still hold an esteem for that same concept. It's like that time has not progressed because they still hold space for that. I think that he's coming from one of those cultures, and he would really have to decide if he can, talk to his parents, maybe get his parents to,
I don't see that. I
mean, maybe get his parents to maybe spending some time, because a lot of times what happens in these situations is that the parents are so gung-ho on what they want, they don't even know their own children. And I think that there's opportunity, or there's room here for his parents to get to know him and understand what type of person he is. And if they aren't willing to know who he is and why girlfriend A that he's already been with for 4 years is a better match for him, then, he does need to consider, because he'll never be happy. Right? So he'll always be living a life for them.
Exactly. There's like two consequences. There's a consequence of not being able, probably, I don't know what the reactions are going to be when it comes to his parents, telling him, okay, since you decided to marry such a person that we did not choose, we no longer want you as part of our family. We don't know what the consequences are. And for situations like that, it's going to be quite difficult it's gonna be very difficult for the person that you're gonna bring in that situation, which I'm sure that you already had an idea about. That's the first question. Did you know exactly at some point this was going to be the case? Because he mentioned something that is dating lifestyle is not like the ones that we are, we've already known about, or the ones that we are aware of. So he knew we had an idea. This basically would take place at some point. A little bit selfish of him, but when it comes to love, you cannot talk about selfish. You love whom you're supposed to love. That's what it is. And right now is in a situation which I hope that he understand. He has two choices, basically three. The first one is decide to go with whatever his parents, told him to do, which point A is it will never be happy. I don't see anybody being and staying in a relationship where they're not happy. You're gonna bring so many mental damage, a lot of mental baggage to the point where you'll hate yourself for doing so. That's basically option one. The second option is, I've found the love of my life. I'm 28. I think I'm old enough to understand what love is. So I'm gonna go with the action of marrying the woman I love. With that option, what's gonna happen is, even if his parents decided to still be around, I don't think it's gonna be an easy task for the girlfriend, the outsider, as they basically see it, to basically win the parents' heart. It's gonna be quite difficult. It's gonna be a challenge. It'll probably never happen. That's basically another horrible situation, because that's one heck of a consequence. And the third one is to, at this point, I don't want to marry anybody right now. If you want to build an empire, be your own person, change the culture, do what you want to do, because if it's just getting out of college or still in college, financially speaking, he's not ready yet. So he probably need more time to build up himself, and then at some point being able to stand up, in front of his parents and tell them, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I'm gonna do. I understand if you guys don't approve it, but as an adult right now, I'm financially responsible to do things that I want to do, and I'm gonna go ahead and pursue the love of my life. That's basically the best I can think of.
Well, I think those are great ideas and suggestions. I think that what it comes down to, though, is that he has to know who he is as a person, and what outcomes he wants to have, and what type of life he wants to have, and what kind of example and legacy he wants to leave for his own child. So there's actually a very good, there's a good book that was turned into a movie that is similarly based on this idea, called Like Water for Chocolate. And in that book, it's old Mexican tradition. And the old Mexican tradition at that time is that the youngest daughter of a household can never marry, because she has to take care of her mother. And the girl in this story falls in love, and her guy are madly in love. They want to get married, and because of this old tradition, they cannot get married. And so he ends up marrying her sister. And it's a really good book or movie if you've never seen it or read the book. But ultimately what you end up learning is that you always have to choose yourself, because
you have to choose yourself.
His parents are going to die off, right? Eventually. And I don't mean that, but
the unfortunate truth. Yeah,
his parents are going to die off, and he's going to be stuck with what did he put into his dash? What life did he live? And his parents will have choices as his life evolves, so as he becomes a dad and if he may be an only child, if he's an only child and he becomes a dad and that becomes their only grandchild, they may change their mind. They may never change their mind, but then he'll have to ask himself what
is it exactly he wants?
What type of quality of life and family legacy do you want to leave, and do you want to teach your children?
Yeah, pretty much. Basically, we've basically go over the entire thing. I think, first of all, you're going to have to, first thing I'm going to say, you should have told your girlfriend this is what the type of situation, because it's always important to give people options. Because right now you're going to break her heart not knowing exactly what to do, because I don't think he's in that level yet. So right now, the best thing I'm going to say is the three options. Wait till you old enough to really know if this is something that's worth doing. when you're capable to take care of yourself. The second thing is go with your heart. If you want to go with your heart, basically at some point, at least you're going to be happy. And the third thing is to stay miserable. And maybe at the end of the day, you might end up catching feelings for somebody you don't think you will ever love.
They live 10 miles. They found out that they live or they're from the same town, right? So the tradition has to be, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just his tradition. The tradition has to
Probably
be,
so.
you know, she's probably under the same tradition anyway. So then the bigger question for me is, how have you been dating someone for 4 years in a culture where disapproval is part of the process and she hasn't met your parents yet? You know what I mean? So
that's that. Yeah,
because that seems like that would need to take place like day one. Like, you know.
Yeah, but you know they met in college, so it was a lot of things happen within that path. The best I can come up with are the three things and everything that you said. I definitely hope that he makes the best decision and understand that marriage is more than what you see until you get into marriage.
I think he just has to be true to himself. I think the best thing is that, you know, we have to, you concentrate on peace, love, happiness, right? So he has to have peace within himself. He has to have love for himself, and he has to have his own happiness. And whatever that looks like for him, you know, he has to sort it out. And I know that it's a tough call, but the only way we change the things that we don't like in the world is to be that change. So, you know,
ourselves, pretty much. Well, folks, that's it for today. The way that relationship questions and answer work. Anytime you have questions, relationship questions, you're looking for advice when it comes to relationships, you just go onto our Instagram, send us a message or send us an email explaining exactly what you're going through. And from the pile of messages that you receive daily, we'll pick one and keep everything anonymously. You don't have to worry. We won't be saying your name. We'll just give a full description of the story and give you the best advice possible. Kai, thank you so much for being here. Always appreciate your presence. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate all the love, all the support, everything that you've been doing to support this channel. If you like everything that you just watched, be sure to comment below. Let us know exactly what we've missed in the process. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Peace.